So it's an LR Tech tag, Golden Frieza and Gogeta. Now, before I actually get into the character in itself, I think it's worthwhile saying that okay, this might be an well, not might be, it is an oversaturation of Gogetas. Now, even though I'm a huge Gogeta fan and part of me inside can't help but kind of find it a bit funny for the Vegito fans, but it is probably too many Gogetas in one year. But I'm going to offer a different way in which people can look at this situation rather than look at it with heat and anger and frustration. The fact that they've been able to do this, now bearing in mind in the Broly movie, we obviously seen very minimal and brief interaction between Gogeta and Frieza. In fact, obviously the main fight itself wasn't Frieza only got his ass beat for about an hour, stalling Broly, and it was ultimately a Gogeta solo mission fighting Broly. So, in that instance, it's a very unique idea and very cool idea, I think, what they've come up with. But what I think the bigger picture we can look at is in the future, right? And this is not trying to, cool everyone's tempers, but just play along with me in this idea. We could potentially see them do a tag Gogeta and Vegito because the animations for this character, like, obviously there's Dokkan original animations for this. Now, again, this opens the door to a whole plethora of ideas moving forward, and I think that this concept is very unique and, as I've said, very cool, and I love it. Yes, there's maybe too much Gogeta this year, but the idea and the fact that they've picked two characters with minimal interaction and not very, they didn't work together at all in the movie. I think it really could give rise to something cooler in the future. So that's one way you can look at it. I've had to shrink myself and reposition myself so we can see the whole thing, but let's start off with Frieza. Let's just say an absolute juggernaut. 70% damage reduction, guard for 5 turns. From the 6th turn moving onwards, got pretty much virtually a great 70% to get a guard moving forward. Launches an additional super. Yes, that's locked behind an extreme class team, but with the quality of extreme class allies, extreme class characters in the game right now, it won't be that difficult. Every time guard is activated, he gets defense. Every time he's hit, he gains 150% attack, which is going to make him hit like an absolute missile when he eventually does attack. But what I really do like about both of them is the active skills and the conditions. Sorry. So Frieza's active skill, you can use what seems look which see what sorry, Frieza's active skill looks like you can use it straight off the bat, which I think is really cool because previously with all the other tag mechanics we've seen, or the tag characters, it's usually when the reversible exchange becomes accessible is when you would have access to both active skills, or give or take within a turn or two. But the fact that they've given you this one straight off the start, it looks like it really allows you to kind of build your teams more around that, and you have more flexibility and versatility, and you can truly just use Frieza alone if you didn't want to use Gogeta in the pure extreme team, which I think is really good. And just play with this idea as well. What I really hope they do is I really hope they release a character like Vegeta and Trunks that will allow extreme class characters to stack, or that gives infinite stacking pretty much to the whole fight, because that way you could take in the Omega Shenron. And just imagine, say you get Super Farm Festival, and I know a lot of people have such a huge ass gripe with that event, but I love that event, right? I think it's amazing, and I'm so glad they've added a new mission to it. So yeah, sucks to be all the people who don't like Festival, but it's really fun. Yeah, so imagine you get So Far in Festival, you take huge damage, and then say you just opt to switch to Gogeta, get his get an orb just to trigger his full heal. So, I think that what they've done is really smart by separating the active skills completely and making them like very usable in completely separate situations. But I think this Frieza looks absolutely fantastic. But yeah, let's move on to his counterpart, Gogeta. Well, simply put, he is going to be probably the most explosive character in the game come his active skill turn, because yeah, let's just take it from the top. So attacks effective against all types. He's got 50% base dodge. As we've talked about already, when he gets a key sphere, he fully recovers health. Now that's a cool ability, right? But with these teams, or excuse me, with these characters and using them in the best setups, taking huge damage at the start, unless you're suffering from Goku Black's active skill in the special battle. I don't know how. I don't want to say it'll be redundant, but I think in order for you to get max value out of it, I think it'll need to be very situational. But it's like still a cool thing to have. 40% damage reduction, that one probably very easy because again in most cases I think people will majority, and this is just me guessing here, majority use this with the fused fighter setup. Then there's more. When activating his active skill or attacking with 24 key, guaranteed crit, 150% attack. This one is really good, this next one. For every key sphere, he's got 5% dodge and attack 10%, and he gives defense 10% to all allies when attacking per key sphere. That is crazy. And we'll get onto the active in just a second. And then for every 5 key spheres, he gets an additional super. Now, what I love about this is, going back to me saying he may be the most explosive character, I think right now that title probably sits with Goten and Trunks. Maybe. I mean, you could maybe toss up Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as well. I think it, again, depends on the situation. But with Gogeta on his active skill turn, not only does he get, I think it's 540% attack and defense. The attack is just in the moment, but the defense is for the turn. The whole field becomes tech orbs, which is 23 orbs. You collect all that. That's 230% defense, 230 that you give to your allies, 230% attack, and then he's got 4 additional supers. So in that specific moment, you've got 7 attacks, the active skill, the 18 key, the 12 key, and 4 additionals. That is absolutely bonkers. The amount of damage he'll do. Now imagine you pair that with AGL Gogeta. My god, I wonder how much damage that would do, especially to like the Gogeta and Vegeta at the end of Festival, and what his stats will look like with the Vegeta and Trunks stacking. I'm very much looking forward to trying that out. But yeah, I think this character is a huge W from the point of view that it opens up a whole other world of possibilities now. So while we do have the oversaturation, as I've called it, of Gogeta, there is many positives, and I think this character might be number 1.